The Doghouse Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of our West Virginia locations and try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Welcome, everybody. Patrick Morrison here with the Doghouse Racing League. Thursday night, this should be a good one here. Kentucky Speedway is actually where we're going to be. If you guys tuned in yesterday to the Simtrax broadcast, and we were actually at Kentucky for the Racing Revolution. But this league seems to go ahead and touch on a few extra things that some other leagues don't. We are actually at the legacy part of Kentucky Speedway, a mile-and-a-half tri-oval design featuring a 1,600-foot-long backstretch, 4 primary turns, and this is where before the revamp. This is the turns are only banked at 14 degrees. Last night, some of you may remember, it was 17 degrees. The racing surface is a uniform 57 feet wide through the turns, including a 12-foot apron. So right now, the average 2-lap speed was held by an IndyCar driver back in 2002 by the name of Sarah Fisher. Her 2-lap average was 221 miles an hour here at Kentucky Speedway. So it's going to be an awesome one here so far. It's been reconfigured a couple of times, but unfortunately, Kentucky Speedway has been shut down. NASCAR bought them out and then never gave them another race after that. But fortunately, iRacing has come by, scanned it not once but twice, and we'll have you can race on either the legacy style, the old school, what we're racing here tonight, or where we will be actually where we were yesterday. Also, keep in mind, if you guys haven't tuned into the Doghouse Racing League and this is your first time, big man on top right now is Jonathan Jennings in the 91 Toyota. We've seen a lot of him over the recent weeks, starting with Indianapolis and at Chicagoland. He is on a 2-race win streak. We've taken a ride along with him multiple times on the inside and looking from the outside, and he just seems so smooth into these turns. A lot of drivers are getting kind of grouped up with his team and saying, hey man, what can we do? How can I get faster? Because he leaves the field sometimes somewhere between a 2 to a 7 second gap on these wins. So right now we're looking at Jonathan Jennings now and that 91 Toyota, and we'll see what if he can do it again and come up with a third win here in a row. Let's take a look at what we've got here as these gentlemen are under qualifying. Kentucky Motor Speedway, 82 degrees on the track, so that's gonna be it's gonna be okay. A little bit last night. This is about 30 degrees cooler than what we had yesterday. Tires are gonna be a huge factor here with 100 laps of definitely a very, very bumpy track. The entry in the third, the coming out of turn 2, it's going to be very hard on these drivers to continue staying calm, being ready for the next turn, and we're going to put these guys side by side on a mile and a half, so it's going to be very tough. 100 laps, those 3 sets of tires, like I said, is going to be crucial here. No fast repairs, but a 60% fuel limit. So I would probably gauge somewhere about that 35 to 40 lap mark is when we may see guys have to come down for fuel, depending on whether they have to whether they have been in the draft or not. Once again, I'd like to give a nice shout out there to Shoney's of West Virginia for sponsoring the league here at Doghouse Racing League. So far, some pretty fast times out of our drivers out there so far. No surprise, our Jonathan Jennings, top of the chart. Hunter Simpson had a start in park last week, sitting second, and Kevin Thompson is sitting third right now. Fastest time with that 31:56 out there on the track. Jonathan Jennings looking like nothing can beat him here at this point in the race. I am so baffled right now with what he can do in that Toyota. Kevin Powell, his brother, is sitting third. So far, so good out of these guys. I just don't know. I just don't know what can flip Elite Southern Motorsports here. That racing team has been on a tear as of late. Jackson Lomax looks like he is going to be in the 96 Toyota out there. Highest for Turn 1 racing, followed by Christopher Berger behind him. So we've got a lot of guys starting to kind of separate out here on the track at Kentucky. And this should be a good pile through. I would say, is starting with Indianapolis, a lot of drivers don't test these next-gen cars out there. Chicagoland was a shutdown track. We raced that last week, and Jonathan Jennings took it away. And Kentucky has been shut down. So, and we're going to see if he can do it again here. But the way they're kind of going about the schedule here is kind of taking on tracks that we had, you don't see these drivers racing on any longer, which is really nice to see as we're able to reach out and take a look at the tracks that have unfortunately gone by the wayside. Chicagoland became a parking lot for Ford trucks, and this one may reach the same issue, being just a parking lot for more cars without computer chips, I suppose. But fortunately, next week, we'll be heading to Daytona International Speedway, one of my favorite tracks. Definitely interesting to watch guys go 3 wide. I don't expect it in this league. Obviously, the driving level and confidence I see out of the drivers here is definitely possible. But it's just so hard to send a 3 wide. 2 wide is the max normally. But that should be a good run next week. Kentucky Speedway is one of those cookie-cutter tracks. You notice it's kind of bowl-shaped all the way around, especially on that front stretch, just kind of allowing these drivers to hook around here. And it's just going to be kind of interesting. It kind of moves around here a little bit. I mean, this track was originally constructed by Jerry Carroll. The Kentucky Speedway was then sold to Speedway Motorsports in 2008. Speedway Motorsports subsequently expanded the track's seating capacity from 66 to 107,000. They reconfigured the pit lane and included a quarter-mile oval. You guys obviously see their dead center, and an additional 200 acres of property being utilized for camping on the race weekends out here. So that is going to be pretty interesting to see out of some of these, what these drivers can bring to the table here at Kentucky. Like I said, it's really unfortunate to see a track like this get shut down just because it's over and over and over again. Why do we keep building tracks? Get a shot for these drivers to put some times out there on the track, and really what they can, what other drivers can bring to the table here. So these guys are going to have about a 5-minute warm-up. To me, this would be a scheduled pit party, so these guys are all going to kind of bunch up here and give it another go. A couple of drivers may or may not be considering going out onto the track. But a lot of guys are saying that, the biggest thing here at this track is going to be tire conservation. They're not so worried so much on fuel. It's that tire conservation with not getting wrapped up, banged around, and hammered around out there for them to kind of, figure out really which is the best lane. Let's see if we can take a shot here along with Matthew Robinson. You kind of see how the car is kind of jumping right there. See the bumps? So, and he's just hardly cruising around here. Yeah, hardly cruising. He is doing 140 miles an hour. So he may realize something's a little weird with that car. Let's see if we can find, where's Hunter Simpson? I know Hunter Simpson's been out there. He was doing pretty well. Let's see how he does. Hunter Simpson, also part of the Elite Southern Motorsports race team. He may be up. My big thing, yeah. No shifting into fifth. So Hunter Simpson, he got up there. He missed the pole, getting the front spot, but I believe he was just outside the front spot. But notice how these guys side by side. So this should be good squeeze racing here out of all these drivers, especially Hunter Simpson and the Elite Southern Motorsports and Loud Pedal Racing. These guys should be putting on a good show. Turn 1 Racing, their race team, they're going to be trying to smash in there a good bit. And we'll see if Shoney's Racing can get it. I know that the Leftwiches had some problems last week, and I think it may have been a little bit on the pitting strategy. They kind of gambled on cautions, and there were none. No cautions over these 2 races so far. We've had 1 caution, and that was at Indianapolis for a single-car spin-out. So these guys are very, very tough. Christopher Berger, look at that. Hitting a 3rd place here during the warm-up. Only about less than 2 minutes left here So this is going to be pretty tight. Would like to give a shout out there to Young Gun Creations. Aiden Young will actually be the guy you'll talk to out there when you reach out on Facebook for your next paint scheme that you're looking for on your car. You can find their link down at the bottom of my bio here on the race, so you can find him. If you're looking for any sort of a paint scheme or anything like that, get a hold of Aiden Young, and man, he does a great job out there getting these guys squared away, making the cars look good along with their driving style. Another minute left here. Kevin Powell on the top row here. Good so far. Want to keep in mind, it's very hard to see out here. I know Stella had a little information yesterday when you were broadcasting with me about Fords and Chevys out here. That's going to be very interesting to see. I believe she told me yesterday that only one Chevrolet has won here at Kentucky. Most of the time it is a Ford vehicle. So this should be a good run here. We'll see. I know Jonathan Jennings is sitting in a 91 Toyota, so we'll see if he can get it done. Kevin Powell is sitting in a Chevrolet. Looks like he's running the Jimmy John's number 93, staying with that paint scheme. I know a couple of guys have changed their paint scheme out here just a little bit. Matthew Robinson being one of them. He'll be in the number 1 jockey car. I think we ended up with a little fumble last time. His paint wasn't quite coming out right. All right, this should be a good squeeze here. That's just going to do it for the end of our warm-up. We're going to get right to the grid. I'm excited about this race. This one should be good, especially with what we were seeing happening last week at Chicagoland. This is going to be good this week. Here we go. Boys get on the grid here momentarily. They're going ahead, getting their last chat through on the drivers' meeting here, and they'll be getting out here on the track. There they go. All right, let's take a look at our starting grid for tonight. Jonathan Jennings next to Hunter Simpson in the front row. Sitting row 2 will be Kevin Powell and Kevin Thompson. I will say I am not surprised seeing right now in the top 6 Justin McMahon and Jackson Lomax starting row 3. The top 6 right here, I am not surprised to see them up here. Tyler Millette will be starting 7th, Christopher Berger into 8th. Matthew Nordberg will be sitting 9th on the outside of the 5th row with Chris Leftwich. Well, on the inside of the 5th row, Chris Leftwich will be on the outside. Boy, I'm getting ahead of myself here tonight. Jeremiah Stutzman will be 11th with Chris Schaefer into 12th. Let's rotate to the back half of the field. Matthew Robinson outside the top 10, sitting 13th with Matthew Powell next to him. Dustin Renstedel will be sitting 15th with Daniel Wilkerson from Loud Pedal Racing into the 16th position. Watch out for that 78. He'll be on a tear. Steve Gerber into 17th with Jacob Reeves 18th. Starting in the 10th row, Mike Samia with Jason Miz. Now keep out Miz. Miz was on a tear last week. He was a really, he had it going there very, very fast. So we'll see if he can bounce back and get back in the front. Gary Armijo sitting 21st with Andrew St. Cour sitting 22nd. Man, oh man, oh man. Row 12 will be Ricky Williams and Mike Leftwich. Following up at the very end, Gary Clune will be 25th. Eddie Rivers, after a messy run there at Indy, starting 26th. And Jeremy Cootie will be into the 27th position. 27 drivers. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's going to be good here, especially when you get that many showing up for a cookie-cutter race like this. Race number 3 here of the season. This should be, I'm hoping this is going to be looking pretty good. I don't know right now if Jonathan Jennings is going to be holding these guys off so easy rocking the Cub Cadet machine tonight. If, you know, whether or not he's going to be able to conserve his tires. So we'll see if it can get done. Stella out there in the chat. Yes, only one Chevrolet. Kyle or Kurt Busch? I think he was saying it was Kyle Busch that got it. And Kyle Busch was the only driver in a Chevrolet that won the race here at Kentucky. So let's see if Hunter Simpson or Kevin Powell can be the next one. But Jonathan Jennings is going to lead us to the green flag here to start this 100-lap race here at Kentucky. Here we go, green, green, green. Jonathan Jennings, low line here. I've noticed some of these guys during the drive at Kentucky, low line in, low line out is not going to be the way you want to be. It's going to jam those tires quick. As you can see, Kevin Powell already slides himself up one position, but not quite enough. Hunter Simpson's going to hold that top line, not allow him to get the entry that Jonathan Jennings is going to get here. Outside line for the 33 of Hunter Simpson. We'll rotate our way back to where some more trouble's happening there in the back. Almost 3 wide squeeze, and look at the rotation on the way out. Jackson Lomax almost gives a kiss right off the wall there, but he's able to hold it under control and get it going as they start lap 2. Kevin Powell still on the bottom, the number 20 of Justin McMahon. He moved up a position. He's watching the battle. Ooh, contact. Here we go. Now remember, boys, there's no fast repairs here, so any damage will continue to get worse. The more these two battle, the more Jonathan Jennings is able to scurry away here, trying to see if he can stretch it out to half a second here with only two laps into this race. Kevin Powell looks like he's going to go ahead and give up on that one. Let's rotate back here to Jackson Lomax, who's under fire, I believe, by Tyler Millette. The 94 Chevrolet on the bottom. Trying to rotate that top side. I've noticed some guys say that outside line will start gathering speed later on in the race, but it's extremely hard on the right rear tire. And the guys who ride way on the bottom say it's extremely hard on the right front tire. So if your set of right side tires tonight is not your night, you're going to have definitely get a beating here. You see the rotation up through the turn. Definitely back here a little bit back with Jeremiah Stutzman. Looked like he got out of shape there in the number 71. And he has fallen way back 7 positions since the start of this race. So Jeremiah Stutzman just not able to get a good line here on this one. Daniel Wilkerson as well has lost 7 positions and is back down to 23rd. But it's still early in the race. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we aren't even 5 laps in, already making contact up here. Looks like Jacob Reeves is getting hammered around, almost turning into a pinball. Hopefully he's able to calm this down a little bit. Dustin Renstedel top side here, looking to wait for him to calm down before the 3 and the 18 decide to start trading a little more paint here. And good battles all over the track. We rotate up. Looks like number 13 of Chris Leftwich. They're going to try to see if he can make a move on Christopher Berger here in the 36. Good moves here. You can see most of the Turn 1 racing team, you'll notice, will be out here in red, white, and blue schemes, so they should be easy to find. Yeah, squeezing so far. Hunter Simpson trying to hold Jonathan Jennings to within half a second. But it's getting harder and harder in each lap as Jennings has the consistency to stay running the same line. I just don't know. Whoa, man, as you see Chris Leftwich here in the 13 Chevrolet, we are watching him now. And he's getting super loose here going through these turns. I don't know what's, if something's loosening up on his race car here. That is not looking good for him. That definitely lost another position down to 11th here. So Chris Leftwich going to continue his battle. Let's rotate up front. Let's see if Justin McMahon seeing if he can take a peek on the inside of Kevin Powell. Good timing by our producer there. Looks like he's going to squeeze. Man, that's going to be close. Let's see if we can get another top side angle here. A little chase cam from our Michelin chopper view. Justin McMahon here on the bottom. Definitely trying to see if he can get a breath of fresh air before he starts sucking up more exhaust from Kevin Powell. Kevin Powell watching Hunter Simpson kind of drive off from him here as they begin lap 8. Yeah, you kind of see, you see how Justin McMahon kind of floats up the track there a little bit. Same with Kevin Powell. And then they dive into the turn trying to help, try to get a rotation of the car into the turn. Now remember, this only has 14 degrees of banking, so one of the flatter tracks out here. They don't have the help of it when it was later done, upgraded to 17 degrees of banking. So they're trying to help the car roll or almost preload the suspension getting into the turn. So it just takes a little more wear and tear and a little more skill to get this thing lined up for the turn. Yeah, because you can see back here in the 21 of Kevin Thompson doing it a little bit differently. You see how he kind of went in a little straighter than everybody else, and it straightened out actually his turn. So he lost a little bit of time here to Justin McMahon. He's going to have to try again. But he is under heavy fire by Matthew Nordberg here in the 64 Tabasco Chevrolet. Man, oh man, oh man. You definitely got to be careful here. You would think in a mile and a half these guys would have so much more room. But they are using all 57 feet of the racing surface here to see if they can battle it side by side. 64 on the bottom. But Kevin Thompson's going to get the better of him in the 21 Great Clips 4. Rotate back up front here with Kevin Powell still under fire here by Justin McMahon. Justin McMahon looks like he might be backing it off here just a little bit. Hats off to Hunter Simpson for still holding on to Jonathan Jennings to half a second. No help out there, not able to, not close enough to get any sort of draft, but is able to keep the same solid line as they chase each other down the front stretch. Hunter Simpson, Kevin Powell, and Jonathan Jennings right now 1, 2, and 3, all on the same team. So they've definitely got it on got this car hooked up, and they know exactly what they've got to do. Let's rotate back here to Chris Schaefer, who looks like he might be sliding underneath Matthew Powell. Bunch of Chevrolets right here, seeing if they can get going here. Chris Leftwich will be the one they're chasing down in the 13 machine in front of him. Chris Schaefer on the bottom side, where 9 is going to hold him down there and ruin his entry of the turn. It looks like it doesn't ruin anything but Matthew Powell's entry. He lost a ton of speed there through 1 and 2. And now the 96 of Jackson Lomax is going to try to capitalize on this. He's going to have to really stick the nose in there before the 9 kind of dive bombs it. 96, look at him carry that through the turn. He's going to rotate up the track. Here comes Jacob Reeves. Jacob Reeves now toward the inside here. There he goes, squeezing down toward the bottom. Jacob Reeves going to get a 2-for-1 deal into 12th. Hold Schaefer behind him. Watch the 18 of Dustin Renstedel. Now he's on the bottom. Good rotation through the turns here. Oh, 18 of Dustin Renstedel gets loose. 9 gets into the wall and makes contact with the 3. Jason Miz is in the 3 car. It shows 7 out there on our ticker. The battles and the woes continue for his number placement, but that's A-okay. We'll make sure we keep that in on the run here. All right, Matthew Powell in the 9. Jason Miz, I think, actually might be in the 24. Mike Samia showing 44 is in the 3. So I messed that up. Mike Samia showing, I know it's showing him out there in the 44, but he is right now in the number 3. So as he rotates around, Jackson Lomax looks like he might be in some trouble here. As we watch the battle here for 15th place, Jennings is stretched out to another 2/10 lead over Hunter Simpson. So some of these guys have got to be thinking pit strategy to keep this one close. Only 2 cars right now side by side are Jackson Lomax. Looks like St. Cour might be thinking about it as well. Inside he comes. Want to give a shout out there for Andrew St. Cour in the number 12. He did pretty well last time. He ended up with a 9th place finish. I know he didn't do so well at Indy. But he looks like he's doing A-okay now. He's trying to make a bid here for that 15th position. See if he can get Jason Miz behind him. Jason Miz will now be playing chase on the track. Let's see if we can rotate up to Tyler Mollett. Tyler Mollett still sitting 7th here in the race. Good chunk of Chevrolets out there. Let's see if we can pop that up. Boom. I got 1 Toyota in the lead. Kevin Thompson, the 21 Ford, sitting 4th, and the Chevrolets the rest of the way until we reach 12th, where Dustin Renstedel's rocking a Toyota. Let's rotate back here to Chris Leftwich. Looks like Justin McMahon, something happened here. Now, we saw him battling for normally in the 4th position. Has dropped back 4 more, sitting 8th. Don't know if he has any sort of damage to that race car. Let me see if I can get the drone out there. Out there to Justin McMahon's car. No damage to the side of his car. Let's take a look at the back. No can do. Everything looking pretty square here with Justin McMahon's vehicle. Jonathan Jennings stretching the lead to almost a second now. 20 laps into this race. And you've got to be questioning out there. You know, we've talked to, Jonathan Jennings a couple of times already here in Winner's Circle. And right now aiming for a 3rd. But he says he can be beat. And I'm very curious as to how and where and when. Because right now, again, putting on a heck of a show with him making this stretch out here. getting into the front. And if this goes caution-free for another 100 laps at another track, this is going to be really off-putting for some of these other drivers, kind of questioning when and where they can get this guy. So let's see if we can take a little ride along here with Jonathan Jennings. Let's see. Notice how he's not dropping down to the paint. We had a conversation yesterday with one of the drivers that the best route is actually to stay about a car and a half up high on the track, and that definitely helps with your rotation in and out to not tear these tires up as much. I think actually we're about to run into some lap traffic. You may be looking at the backside of Ricky Williams' Chevrolet out there in the 29. You may be catching up to him. See if he's able to kind of reel him in here. Looking pretty good, especially on the time. Right now, I've got Jonathan Jennings running at 33 seconds flat. And lap traffic is about 33:36 on his last run. So Ricky Williams starting to pick up a little bit of pace here. Gary Armijo ended up with a 34:59 out there on the track. So you're starting to see the tire wear is starting to kick in pretty well here. That looks like Andrew St. Coeur. It looks like he's taking a look here on the inside, the number 8 of Steve Gerber. Steve Gerber starting to turn it on here, as well as Andrew St. Coeur. Both these guys have moved up a considerable amount of positions. Easy there, number 8. Can't pass below the yellow line. He can make gains, but he can't pass. That may cost him in that entry into the turn. St. Coeur sees it. He's going to jump on it and see if he can get another just as many positions past as is on his car, and he's got just a half a car on him here. St. Coeur up 12 positions, now into the top 10, looking for that hard charger. Jonathan Jennings led every lap of this race here so far. St. Coeur is up 12 positions, Gerber's up 6, Jacob Reeves sitting 9th as that moved up 9. Everybody kind of shuffling around here. Looks like Matthew Nordberg's looking to see if he can make a peek around the outside of Chris Leftwich. But loose. You're starting to see all these cars very, very tight in the beginning of the race, but now we're starting to see exits of turns become a big problem. I would be concerned here actually watching Andrew St. Coeur diving into these turns a good bit, and you see when he gets ready to rotate on through. He's having to check up big time. I mean, big time, and has nowhere to run. As you can see him pushing through the turn, so you see him check up again right there to keep from over-rotating. But Jacob Reeves under fire here by Matthew Nordberg. Nordberg has the best of him. Nordberg trying to make sure he can stay into the top 10 here, but he might just lose it. Nordberg down to 10th. St. Coeur with a beautiful move running right in the middle of the track, slices underneath of him, and now he will be on the outside of the 3 of Jacob Reeves. Jacob Reeves might look like a sitting duck now as Andrew St. Coeur has turned it on really here as of late. Picking up the pace outside of 1 and 2. St. Coeur has got a fender on him. As they scramble down the backstretch, you see the 3 of Jacob Reeves get loose. And that is exactly what St. Coeur needs, is staying higher, and that's kind of what I was pointing out earlier about Jonathan Jennings. Is him how much higher he's running there on the track. Jacob Reeves is almost going down to the bottom and touching the paint. And now it's cost him another position. So he's still sitting 9th. St. Coeur has moved up 2, which has gotten his grand total of 14 positions moved up. So some of the drivers for Turn 1 Racing, Jackson Lomax, Christopher Berger, have fallen down to 21st and 22nd. They had some fast qualifying times, but are just unable to hold out with the rest of this crew out here at Kentucky. Definitely these guys put on an awesome show here, but it is the next step in some of these guys' charge during the race. Whether, you know, if you can hang with these guys, because they are super, super fast. Let's rotate back here to the area, I believe, of Dustin Renstedel. Looks like Renstedel is battling along with Chris Schaefer. Looks like the rest of Turn 1 racing here. McMahon is still on the march back, down 10 positions from where he originally started. Justin McMahon sitting 15th. So a little bit of an opposite of what we saw last week, where he ended up third. We are one-third through the race here, 30%. As we come up on lap 31, we should be starting here. And this is very questionable here, is looking at Jonathan Jennings. Now, remember I was saying Hunter Simpson holding him by half second, then built up to, he is to 2.25 second lead now, stretching out to almost 2.5 on the following turn. So this is looking pretty grim again for anybody else here on the track. Let's take a look at Chris Schaefer and Justin McMahon. McMahon looked like he may have dive bombed him there a little bit and made a little contact with the left rear of the 23 of Chris Schaefer's Chevrolet. The rest of these drivers are strung out here pretty well. See if we can take a look at the track map. You see how everybody's kind of scrambling up a good bit. Your race leader is in the number 91 car. If you're looking for him there on the track map, he's coming up on that red line on the bottom. That'll be your leader. Hunter Simpson in the 33, crossing the line now. So we're watching the track map there as we're watching the 60 machine. Looks like Mike Leftwich actually slicing under Justin McMahon, so McMahon's still on the march back. Big time losing here, but I can't I can't say anything. We're looking at pit stops here within the next probably 5 to 10 laps, and these guys are going to have to start strategizing here. I wonder, you know, if some of these guys right side tires, if some of these guys are going to go all four. We saw a little bit of strategy last night, the Racing Revolution League. Guys did only take right side tires, but you can see after about 5 or 6 laps, they wish they hadn't have done that. First pit stops, here we go. Steve Gerber on his way in, as well as Justin McMahon, which he's been kind of praying here. He's got to come in. So Jennings still here in the lead. We'll see if Jennings, nope. I thought Jennings was thinking about coming in, but he decided against it. A couple more drivers down pit. Christopher Berger and Jackson Lomax are now down. And guys are going to start ending up laps down here pretty quick. Seemed to be kind of the same old song and dance. I think we saw last week the top 9, I think, were still on the lead lap. Might be mistaken, but I knew it was a good chunk of cars. Especially with no caution to have these guys kind of reset. Definitely looking good here so far. Jonathan Jennings, I just don't. This is insane. Let's take a look back. That's Hunter Simpson, about almost 3.5 seconds off of him here. Kevin Thompson sitting third, Kevin Powell fourth. Matthew Robinson of Turn 1 Racing is on his way in the pit. See these couple guys coming out. Now I'm interested to see, from the new tires to the old tires, some of these guys trying to get their laps back. Right now, last lap for Jonathan Jennings is sitting at a 33.38. Pit road, he comes. He's had enough. Hunter Simpson decides to stay out and see if he can squeeze. Yes. Lead lap for him, so 5 more bonus points for Hunter Simpson. And yeah, we're definitely starting to light up now. Andrew St. Cour, Kevin Powell, all down pit road now. We'll have to see whether a couple of these guys decide to only take rights or only take, or if they take all 4. Suicide if they don't take a full tank of fuel, though. But I don't think anybody's willing to gamble this early in the race. All right, and it looks like Kevin Thompson, as Hunter Simpson comes down pit lane, Kevin Thompson is going to get himself 5 bonus points in his Ford. Right now, drivers who haven't pit yet: Tyler Mollett, Jacob Reeves, Mike Leftwich, Jeremiah Stutzman still haven't come in yet. I believe also Gary Clune and Gary Armijo have yet to come in. Chris Leftwich, Dustin Renstedt, Chris Schaefer, and Gary Clune still down pit road here. 18 a little slow into his box. He's going to hate that I tuned into him doing that, too. Uh-oh. Kevin Thompson. Caution. Oh, man. We've got a caution out here. Stella out there in the chat, check that out. So that's going to bring us to our first caution, and we'll be right back and kind of figure out what happened here. Alrighty, everybody, and we are back. Let's take a look at it. Gary looks like he may have gotten a little loose heading into pit lane here. Nothing too much, nothing too fancy. Looks like he just gets a little over-rotated here. And the hot tire's just unable to stay connected. But if he slides up onto the racing surface, that did him in. So, yeah, especially if he put it in reverse, so tire cars are rolling backwards. So that's going to do it. And bring out our second caution of the season. Right. Bring it back live here. A couple of these guys who had pit or haven't pit. Some of this is going to be a little weird. To see who comes out on top here. Because the timing of... the timing of the caution is going to be pretty crucial here. Stella out there in the chat, a yellow flag. You thought Barney had lost that thing. Dust it off, old man. Yeah, well, he definitely is going to got one use out of it. Not too bad, too. Cautions for 3 races. But it's still a good bit here. These guys might be back under green about lap 42, 43 as they get everything sliced back together. If anybody was a lap down, some might have a wave around for a lucky dog here. Not seeing one just yet. But Hunter Simpson looks like he's in the lead. Tyler Mollett sitting second, Jacob Reeves sitting third. So far, good thing for Reeves is up 15 positions. We've got a couple extra drivers coming back down pit lane. Looks like Mike Samia, Christopher Berger, and Jackson Lomax are coming down pit. So we'll see if they come down. I would probably question if these guys are taking an extra splash of fuel here. Which might be, if they're in the back of the pack, this might be a pretty good idea. Boy. Wrong again. Oh, boy. These guys get going around here. We're going to see what all this kind of... Where everybody chalks up. Where, you know, when they come back out of pit, obviously they'll be at the end of the field. And then get this one underway. Jonathan Jennings, who's led most of this race, unfortunately is now back to 9th. So I'm not saying he can or can't do it, or he definitely has the possibility. But I think it's going to be rather unusual for him. I think this is a very interesting time of the caution. And I can't point 100% the fingers at Gary Clune out there. Those hot tires, when you're trying to come to a stop, especially on a cold racing surface that is more down where the tires haven't been running all night, it turns to ice. And when you're trying to come down, you want to be straight heading into pit and lock them up. But Kentucky Speedway is a very interesting angle. Some of these guys aren't able to get a good straight shot on the way through. Everybody who stayed out got around. Matthew Powell, I believe, is our lucky dog around. So as he catches back up to the field here. Drivers line up side by side, getting ready for the next waving of the green flag. Some of these guys are going to be getting squared up here. It's going to be a good run here. I'm glad to see Hunter Simpson and Tyler Mollett here in the front. Jacob Reeves has gained 15 positions, sitting third. Kevin Thompson started fourth, sitting fourth. Jeremiah Stutzman will be in the fifth position. He's up six now. Gary Armijo up 15, sitting in the fifth, sixth area. Mike Leftwich is up 17 positions. He's sitting seventh. Rick Williams up 15, sitting eighth. Dustin Renstedel up 6, sitting ninth. And we'll see if they restack here. I think Jonathan Jennings. Something's happening here. Might be telling them to head to the back of the field here. Yeah, something may happen. They may be extending the caution one more on this one. Looks like a bit of a mix-up. Due to the penalty system here, the causing of the caution will end up resulting in an EOL penalty, so Clune will be at the back of the field. There we go. I was wondering what Jonathan Jennings was doing. I think it was probably... iRacing does sometimes have a fumble there where it tells you don't pass that, stay behind the 23, and it's very confusing because now Chris Schaefer's heading to the back to get, in the back of the line because he's lapped down. And then now it's telling Jonathan Jennings to stay behind him, but he's on the lead lap. So sometimes iRacing gets a little tangled up there, but we should be ready to rock and roll here on this next stint. Taking a look at those pace car lights out. Pace car is off. They'll get ready here. You see him downshifting into that gear with Hunter Simpson we were riding along with. He's going to be looking for that Geico restart zone. Should have been right there. Kind of where you saw those hash marks. This is too old for a Geico restart zone, but that would have been right where he needed to go. He decided not to use it and go ahead and roll his way on through and let Barney wave the green flag. Most likely for the last time here tonight. Seeing how well these guys drive. So we resume racing. Lap 43. This should be pretty good. A lot of drivers that were in the back are going to be trying to fight their way toward the front. Looks like Gary Armijo. What in the world? Something happened here. Way back he went. I don't know if something happened. See if we can take a look at Gary. He's up here pretty high. I'm wondering if he spun his tires or if something got ruined here. Let's take a look. Gary Armijo in the 22 Toyota. This is right on the go. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here because he gets around the turn and then almost whoa, there it is. Poke. Fresh tires. That's what it's going to do. So that is him heading down pit road now. Gary's got a huge amount of damage left front of that car. Let's rotate up front where it looks like Hunter Simpson's under fire by Jacob Reeves. Reeves back all the way in the 18th position. Is now leading the race. He's going to see if he can squeeze for 5 bonus points here. Come on, man. Number 3 Chevrolet's got him a lead lap. There we go. That's going to be good for the points running here. Hunter Simpson sitting second. Tyler Mollett third. Jeremiah Stutzman in the fourth. Jonathan Jennings is still sitting back here 7 positions down from where he originally started. Of course, that was on the pole, so now he's sitting 8th. Interesting to see kind of back here with that dirty air if he's having some trouble getting his way back up there. So we got some side-by-side racing here with Kevin Thompson and Jeremiah Stutzman. Stutzman getting a good run here. Right now, highest place he's been so far this season. Kevin Powell back behind Jonathan Jennings, 8. So 8, 9, and 10. I expect these guys to kind of turn it on here, link up, and get charging back forward. They are off the lead by about 2.5 seconds, but we saw how much Jonathan Jennings can get on a run. So we'll want to see if these guys decide to link up and push their way back to the front. Good string of cars here. Good string of cars. These guys definitely trying their best here at Kentucky. It's just so bumpy out there on the track. And some of these guys are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Taking a look at Matthew Robinson, seeing if he can file in behind Chris Leftwich of the 13 Chevrolet. Chris Leftwich rotating up. Dustin Runstedel sees it. The turn one racing kind of starting to link up here. See if they can get any more going. No can do. Renstedel staying much higher. 13 almost touches the bottom down on the paint. You kind of saw it jam his car there a little bit on the exit. Jennings only off the lead by about 2 seconds here. I think Leftwich might be under fire here. In the number 60 Chevrolet. 91 Toyota on the outside. Ooh, little squeeze. So far, it looks like Jonathan Jennings might just have this, have the angle here on this one. But no. No, Mike Leftwich. Up 18 positions, trying to prove why he's here. Sitting 6th. Look at that. Jonathan Jennings rides right up there, uses that draft, and backs off a good bit. Little unsure when his breaking point was going to be. 91. Look at that middle. Middle of the turn. Jonathan Jennings just powers his way through. I think Kevin Powell might get stuck here on the bottom. Spotter's going to tell him don't go because Justin McMahon's there. '91, Jonathan Jennings here on the outside. Does Justin McMahon in the 20 on the outside behind him. Justin McMahon seeing if he can follow along. 13 to Chris Leftwich is going to help push. Remove a little bit of the downforce off the back of these cars. They did lose a little bit of deck lid space. But not too much wing. Let's see if the 60 rotates toward the top. Kevin Powell would appreciate that. See if he can get caught back up to his back up to the Elite Southern Motorsports right teammate up there. Well, that's a tongue twister. Yeah, right now Jacob Reeves starting to make the separation, almost half a second over Hunter Simpson, and kind of would hope Hunter Simpson, you kind of crossing his fingers, hoping he can get some lead laps and win this race. But he is under fire, I think, by Tyler Mollett, looking for that second position. Good clump of cars here with Simpson, Mollett, and Thompson. 2 Chevrolets and a Ford battling it out here. Kevin Thompson, 21 Ford, seeing if he can find a way through. Obviously, you see the low line, jamming the 94 of Tyler Mollett. Running up a little bit higher may work. I wonder if the 94 might reconsider that here. Of Tyler Mollett staying a little higher on the track. Ooh, man. But maybe he doesn't have his car set up for that. You see it kind of jam him in the middle of 3 and 4. And Tyler Mollett falling down to 4th. Stutzman in the 71 and the Chevrolet behind him, noticing that inside line isn't working at all for Mollett, so he may slice underneath of him or try to go around the outside. 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman here, taking a peek. Ooh, there we go. Little shot there toward the inside, late braking entry. And the 71 of Stutzman now making a bid for 4th. So far, so good. Stutzman was actually outside the top 10. Is now trying to work his way a little farther into the top 5. No can do. Jacob Reeves just barely leading this race by a little over a quarter of a second. Let's rotate back here to McMahon. I think McMahon might be right on the outside of Leftwich, and he is. Leftwich up 16 positions. He might be only up 15 if Justin McMahon can get the better of him here. Oh, check that out. Matthew Robinson from out of nowhere. Here he comes. Top 10. Looks like he's starting to turn on the afterburners here. All of a sudden, wakes that car on up. Matthew Robinson now a shot here for 9th. Good clutch of cars here as they dive into turn 1. Matthew Robinson with a much more aggressive line here on the bottom. We'll see if that pays off or costs him later on. Let's rotate back here to Steve Gerber. Steve Gerber was actually one of the first guys to pit back on lap 32. So his tire wear will be much more than the rest of the guys. Matthew Robinson pit on lap 34. McMahon pit on 32, but Mike Leftwich in the 60. Pit on lap 38, and we can see tire wear was definitely being taken into account by all the drivers out here, and it definitely shows when they start to wear down. McMahon on the march back. As it looked like Jason Miz in the 24 gets the better of him here on the inside. Rotation up. Good check up there by the 20. Man. Yeah, Justin McMahon definitely letting off the gas there. That was a close cut. I guess if the spotter says clear, you're clear for days. But McMahon started getting the run there on Jason Miz, and Joe went ahead and thought best of it and just checked up. Dustin Renstedel now on the bottom side there of, looks like the 13 of Chris Leftwich. Seeing good shuffling around here. Let's rotate up here, actually, where I want to see Andrew St. Cour. See if he's getting any more speed out there. But he is on the outside, Matthew Robinson now. This is a battle for 9th place now. So far, so good. The Advanced Auto Parts 12 Ford, sitting 9th. He is up 13 positions in the race. So rocking around, doing a great job here so far, I got to admit, as we are coming up on just about only 41 laps to go left in this race. Some of these guys shuffling around. Jennings, we saw where he ended up. He's still a second and 3/4 off the lead. 1.7 seconds. Still got a lot of work to do here from Jonathan Jennings. I think once he can get a little more of that draft, he may have a better shot. Hunter Simpson, here he comes, taking a little bit of a look around the outside. May have a battle for the lead. Jacob Reeves may have burned him up early. Hunter Simpson now on the outside. Has a good entry, but watch his follow-through as he comes out of the turn. Jacob Reeves may not have anything for him here. 33 of Hunter Simpson on the outside. There we go. Battle between the two Chevrolets. We got 3 threes out there. I don't think anything lucky about that, as Hunter Simpson still makes a move here to the outside. Has the speed, has the follow-through. He's going to roll on out. Almost gets real close to the wall there, as he's only going to get him by just a hair. He's got to buy a bumper. Hunter Simpson's got the lead, but he's got to clear him here. Jacob Reeves staying on the bottom. Got a full clear now, but Kevin Thompson in the 21 Ford. Here he comes on the outside. See if he can get a little more. So now Hunter Simpson trying to see if he can show that Chevrolet can put it into victory lane. Guys will have to pit before the end of this, though. So we may have a green flag stop or maybe another caution. I would probably not guess on another caution. Seeing how the racing's going out here, checking up at good times. Racing side by side, everybody looking good. I mean, here we go. Back to the Andrew St. Cour again. Looks like he's going to try and make a shot here on Mike Leftwich. Leftwich with three lap pressure tires. Right now holding 8th, 12 looking up top. Let's see if we can get that Michelin chopper view. Good entry. Look at St. Cour shoot the gap here. Right on his way on around. Fantastic move. Huge shot through that turn. Yeah, right now St. Cour has figured something out with turn 3 and 4. He is about, my calculations are right here, about 0.3 of a second faster than anybody else here on the track between 3 and 4. So big time moves here by Andrew St. Cour. He's got to continue doing it because the battle up here where Jeremiah Stutzman, and it looks like the 94 of Tyler Mollett may be cooling down a little bit as you see Kevin Powell giving a little bit of draft help here to the 71 of Stutzman, but not for long. Kevin Powell on the move, trying to get caught back up to Jonathan Jennings. These two were top 3 earlier in the race, but now falling way off. Jimmy John's 93 Chevrolet has got to get a little more speed under him here. All right, about lap 72, these guys will be doubling the 36 lap mark since they last pit. I expect to see pits probably in another 4 to 5 laps here, depending on the caution laps when we got started. Let's rotate up here to Kevin Thompson, taking a look underneath of Hunter Simpson. So far, Chevy, Ford, Chevy, 1, 2, and 3. Jonathan Jennings Toyota has finally broken into the top 5. He's sitting 4th. Right now, that 2.5 gap is looking pretty good with Hunter Simpson and Kevin Thompson, but I don't know how long it'll last. Right now staying on the move, Jonathan Jennings is, but he seems to be stalling out here just a little bit. Right about this moment is when Hunter Simpson fell off in the first stint and lost almost 2 seconds to Jonathan Jennings. But Jennings battling through a lot of traffic, dealing with a lot of dirty air back there, so his charge forward is not working out as well. Kevin Powell's now into 5th. Jeremiah Stutzman drops down to 6th. And Andrew St. Cour now in 8th. After we saw him pass Mike Leftwich, let's rotate back here to Daniel Wilkerson. He was unfortunately out for a start and park last week. So the 78 Buc-ee's Chevrolet will be on the outside. It looks like we got a couple of guys thinking about pit. Steve Gerber's down pit. Matthew Robinson coming down pit. Very, very early for him. So he might be thinking just kind of, quit the move here and keep on going. His fastest time was a 31.8. His last one was a 34.2. So we see the tire wear here starting to really kick in. Jeremiah Stutzman watching Tyler Mollett kind of out of that right rear quarter. Not quite enough there. Tyler Mollett in the Skull Candy Chevrolet on the outside. No can do here, but he's making a bid for it. Got half a car, now has a fender on him. Tyler Mollett trying, but the outside just unable to stick it here. Slow entry from Tyler Mollett. Let's see if he's got the exit. Turning it on a lot earlier here, and that's what Stutzman may have to contend with. It'd be interesting to see if Stutzman rotates up, blocks off the 94 here out of 4. But no can do. 3 and 4 jammed up a little bit different. This is the Legacy Kentucky. They did change this track a little bit, narrowed turn 1 and 2, and changed that banking from 14 to 17. So these drivers having to kind of deal with a weird sweeping turn that they may be used to, but taking it back to the Legacy, gotta love it. Talked earlier about Jonathan Jennings in the 91 Chevrolet, back up by a 1.5 seconds, has now shaved it down to a 1 second. Guys in the front row have got to be thinking when they need to pit. Some of these guys like Kevin Thompson and Jacob Reeves pit on lap 38. Jennings did on 35. Simpson on 36. That'll be your top 4. We'll give you the top 5. Kevin Powell also pit on 35. Ooh, wow. Look at St. Cour sliding around like that. St. Cour sitting 7th. Now taking a look here at Stutzman sitting 6th. So what will Stutzman do? As you can see, St. Cour starting to get a good run on him. Look at the entry. St. Cour with so much speed, and he also has the middle. I'm not quite sure why Andrew St. Cour started all the way in the back of the field here. Maybe just has bad luck qualifying. You see him go on around. St. Cour around now up to 6th. Big time moves. Now I will say St. Cour here has moved up to that 6th position. And is one of the faster guys out here on the track, running at 33.31. Out there. He has not fallen off as bad. Right now, he's got enough pace to be running 3rd here. But is sitting for the hard charger just barely, but he's coming down pit. I was about to say he had about 16 positions up, but he's going to lose a bunch as he heads down pit road. As pit road starts getting a little more action here. Kevin Powell thinking the same thing. Daniel Wilkerson and Justin McMahon are down here. Let's rotate back up to our leaders where they're starting to run into some lap traffic. Lap traffic looks like he's running into Matthew Powell's Chevrolet. Oh, Matthew Powell way loose. Now, Matthew Powell did pit on lap 67. So down another lap he will go. And how long can Hunter Simpson stay out here? Definitely some fuel savings out of him. Let's take a look on the inside of Hunter Simpson's car. Interesting to see his gearing. Notice the RPMs here on Hunter Simpson. His gearing, he's not getting quite into the red like we saw with Jonathan Jennings, who just took 2nd place as Kevin Thompson is working his way down pit. 89, 9,000, just barely touching it here. And then Jonathan Jennings is a lot different. So we're taking a sitting inside Jonathan Jennings' machine now. Both these guys may be using the same setup here. Because it's looking a lot different than what we saw earlier in the run. Both these guys were hammering over that 9,300 mark. Down pit road we go. We'll see if Mike Leftwich gets the lead and leads a lap here. And he is. So lead lap for Mike Leftwich, another 5 points. Seeing how it is here, Hunter Simpson's got to get a good pit stop here. Because right now they're about tied between Jacob Reeves And Jonathan Jennings for the amount of laps led. If Jennings can get out in a timely manner, he may bag himself another 5 points for the most laps led here tonight. Out there in the chat, open setup sure do add a whole new element. Yes, it does. These guys definitely able to kind of toss back and forth, you know, kind of what, you know, different gearing, be able to mess with fuel mileage, be able to mess with that right front tire wear, and these guys just able to hold on so much longer. We saw last night on the fixed setup at the new Kentucky that these guys were able to make it probably about 28 to 32 laps. Here we're seeing well over 35 to almost 40 laps before they're having a pit. And I guarantee you that the tire wear is not as substantial as in the fixed setup. There's Jonathan Jennings popping out here in the 8th position. Kevin Powell, his brother, sitting 7th, but Kevin last pit on 71. Mike Leftwich, Tyler Mollett coming down. And I believe Jeremiah Stutzman has the lead. Right now, Stutzman slowing down a good bit here. He is being passed with some guys with some fresher tires. Sitting right now about 11 miles an hour slower than the rest of the field, so he may be either stalling out here or he's definitely got to come down to pit. There you go. Hit that number 1 there on the keyboard. Let him know you're coming in. Jeremiah Stutzman coming down, which may put Ricky Williams in the lead. Ricky Williams showing here in the 29. 29 Chevrolet. Yeah, I believe he may have got 5 points and just barely squeaked where Stutzman had to pit. So hats off. Give a round of applause for our points grabber out there, going to be slicing this one up at the end of the run. And who led laps and who didn't. And there we go, Ricky Williams. So that may put Hunter Simpson back into the lead. Man, he's not going to be happy about that. That 21 Ford of Kevin Thompson all over him now. He started getting a good amount of separation, but what can Hunter Simpson do to put the pressure on and get out of here? Jonathan Jennings only behind by 2 seconds with 22 to go. Hunter Simpson right now has got to be under immense pressure here in the 33 Chevrolet. He's got to keep in front of a fast Jonathan Jennings of the race. Kevin Powell equally as fast, and Kevin Thompson starting to put the pressure on behind him. So really, where does Hunter Simpson sit in this one? We'll see if he can get away with the first win and break Jonathan Jennings' streak here. As Jennings is under 2 seconds with 21 to go. Lap traffic passing number 9 of Matthew Powell on the top side. Powell with a little bit of trouble here tonight. He's down 2 laps here so far. See where Justin McMahon ended up. McMahon ended up actually back here in the 9th position. Matthew Robinson's still charging up front, but he had to pit way back on 66. Jacob Reeves in the 3 pit on 74, so definitely having 8 laps fresher tires is paying off for him big time. Matthew Robinson is going to be kind of really grasping to hold on to a top 10 finish here. So far, Matthew Robinson has been top 10 every race so far this season. 8th last race. St. Cour has gotten into 5th, but he's going to be running down the fastest man on the track of Jonathan Jennings. St. Cour has got to make up over 1.5 seconds to catch Jonathan in the 91 Toyota. Since the last time we checked, 3 laps have gone by. Jonathan Jennings has taken off another 1/4 second here. And it's getting pretty tight. Jacob Reeves is trying to get a little more pressure up there to St. Cour. He's now picking up some pace. Fastest man on the track right now is Jeremiah Stutzman. His last lap was a 31.98. Now Christopher Berger as well with a 31.86 out there on the track. So, unfortunately, Berger is down a few laps here as we get to the closing moments here of this race. Jennings now up to third. Looks like he passed Kevin Powell here. Continuing for the charge. 17 to go. Right now, if Simpson can stay out front and not be able to use, have any problems out here, they may be able to outrun and break this win streak that Jonathan Jennings has. Still definitely a possibility. Taking a look at the points. Jonathan Jennings is in the lead. Kevin Powell sitting second. McMahon in the third. So that stop that Hunter Simpson had, unfortunately, has him down in the 21st position. A win here would be awesome. Would definitely boost his confidence heading into the rest of the season. And Kevin Thompson, who's sitting second right now, is 7th in the points. Jennings still back there, that second and a half here with just about 15 to go when we reach the line. This may be an interesting squeeze here. So we'll see how all of it goes, but we're going to cut to commercial right before we get to the last 10 to go, and we'll be right back after this. The Doghouse Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is today's all-American kitchen. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Shoney's guests can count on quality, delicious food along with warm, friendly service. Stop by one of the West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and don't forget to take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. All right, a little shout out there from our sponsors at Shoney's in West Virginia. Appreciate them climbing on board here with the Doghouse Racing League to bring everything you guys see here every Thursday night from here for at least until the foreseeable future. Hunter Simpson right now, as we resume back, is still half a second over top of Kevin Thompson. He's able to put a little bit of distance, and Jennings is almost stalling out here. I think he may need the draft of Kevin Thompson to come up and make a little more, but awesome job by our drivers. Chevrolet in the front, Ford sitting second, and Toyota sitting third. But with 13 to go, anything can happen here. Jeremiah Stutzman sitting now 9th. Jason Miz looks like he might be under fire here by Daniel Wilkerson. Wilkerson has pit 2 laps later than Miz, so maybe the tires are looking a little better for Mr. Wilkerson here as he's making a bid for a top 10 finish. With a start and park. Man, I'll get that down. The start and park that he had last week, he's got to continue his charge. Right now, not sitting too good there in the points. Sitting right now 23rd. So top 10 here would definitely be a good bid till the end. Is everything calming down here just a little bit? I think Reeves may have gotten the better of Andrew St. Cour. Andrew St. Cour now down to 6th. Matthew Robinson sitting 7th, but he's way back there. Robinson's almost, good Lord, he's almost 7-8 seconds off the lead. Boy, this is getting interesting, but this is exactly what needs to happen. Battle for second, here we go. Hunter Simpson has now made the break, almost a second off the front nose of Kevin Thompson. But this is what Jennings needed, is Thompson to burn his tires up. Draft being used by Jonathan Jennings here. Jennings using the draft. He's going to reel him in. Only separation of these two guys by about 0.2 of a second. Jennings, I'm sure, will close that in quick. Let's take a look out the backside here of Kevin Thompson. Watch Jennings kind of reel him in here. Yeah, look how close Jennings gets to that wall. Definitely gets the shot there. Jennings left his brother in the dust, sent him back about 3.5 seconds off the back bumper of Jonathan Jennings. Jennings, I'm wondering if he's starting to get a little nervous here. He's got to make up 1 second to catch up to Hunter Simpson. Hunter Simpson right now has got to be sweating. Palms are getting real nervous here. Let's see if they can get anything going on it. Out there in the chat, Sean Thompson saying, good run, Kevin. Right now, Kevin's doing trying his best to stay out front. It looks like he might be a sitting duck here to Jennings. Jennings looking toward the inside. But no can do, not just yet. Jennings trying to set him up here, but I guarantee you, Thompson is trying to figure out every way to block him from getting any farther forward. Jennings, good rotation in. There it is. There's the center. Now has a fender on him, half a car. Pushes through, and now Jennings showing he saved a little bit of tire here for the end of the race. So far, him and Thompson and Simpson pit one lap later than Jennings. Shouldn't matter too much. Now Jennings is in the second, so great job here by the 91 Toyota, the Cub Cadet of Jonathan Jennings. He only has one car left to pass, but he has a second to make up. Does Kevin Thompson stay behind him, draft, and actually assist him in this one? We'll see here, but he's only got 7 laps left to go. As these guys battle it out here over the last 10 miles of this track. Jonathan Jennings is trying to see if he can get himself a win. He's 1 second off of getting his third in a row. So very close back here actually with Jacob Reeves. Kevin Powell is trying to get him. Jacob Reeves has gotten into the 4th position. Kevin Powell actually on the fallback here. Powell last pit on 71 as well as St. Cour. St. Cour, I guarantee you that number 12 Ford is going to make a shot here for that 5th position. But time is running out. Hunter Simpson still holding out there. Looking pretty good here so far. Talk about drivers doing a fantastic job. No race penalties as of yet this season. And I don't think there'll be any after this race. Only one caution just for a slight spin out there entering pit road and involved no other cars. Once again, I'm pretty excited to be bringing you the Doghouse Racing League, sponsored by Shoney's. Next week, we will be at the Daytona International Speedway. We'll have 60 laps for those guys to crunch down there on February 9th. So keep an eye out for that. Normally, when we head to these super speedways, I always say anybody can win them. So that is going to be an awesome, awesome stretch for those drivers out there to see if we can really get away from these cookie cutters a little bit and back to a super speedway. Jennings did a fantastic job out there at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but let's try to oval it a little more and see if how well he can do there at a super speedway. Taking a look here, Andrew St. Cour sitting 6th with 4 to go. I'll rotate back here to Ricky Williams and the number 29 Chevrolet. He got himself a lead lap, up 7 positions, sitting 16th, and I believe he is the last driver on the lead lap. Very, very close to going down a lap here. He's going to have to keep pedaling forward. If I'm not mistaken, he's going to have Hunter Simpson right there, the white car behind him. You see riding about probably 10 to 12 car lengths behind him to see if he can put him a lap down here. But he's going to try his best to stay out in front as we've only got about 2 laps left to go with Hunter Simpson still in the lead. Jonathan Jennings almost half a second off his rear bumper here and is now starting to pick up the pace. Jonathan Jennings realizing there's no time left to waste. He's got enough fuel to make it to the end. Now the power. Can Jonathan Jennings reel him in here? So very close these two are. Let's rotate top side. There we go. That's the distance. Jonathan Jennings now to the bottom of 3 and see if he can rotate through. Under half a second here for Jonathan Jennings. Hunter Simpson going to bring home the white flag. 1 lap left to go. Hunter Simpson in the lead. Here we go, Stella. Make sure you're out there and still watching. We might have another Chevrolet win it here at Kentucky. But Hunter Simpson running up onto some lap traffic here. Good communication here. Let's see if the lap traffic moves or if it's going to jam and give Jennings the shot. Jennings still off by half a second. Hunter Simpson only has 2 more turns to get it done here. Hunter Simpson down toward the bottom. Lap traffic up toward the top. Good clear here. Jonathan Jennings trying to send it. Jennings actually has to check up a little bit as he gets loose. And he will end up second. The win streak is over for Jonathan Jennings as Hunter Simpson in the 33 Chevrolet brings home the win here at Kentucky Speedway. A little love tap will be deserved there by Jonathan Jennings for breaking his streak. There it is. The driver's kiss. So that is going to bring us Hunter Simpson, Jonathan Jennings, and Kevin Thompson, 1, 2, and 3. Great job by St. Cour, almost getting into the top 5, but not close enough. Kind of take an eyeball here on Hunter Simpson's burnout. Definitely well-deserved. I'd be very concerned if there's anything even left on those tires, as well as he was driving that car. Big time moves by all our drivers. I'm so blown away by how well these guys did out there. But excellent job. But we'll be right back after we round up all our guys, and we'll have a little chat with them and see what they thought about the race. Alrighty, and we're coming right on back with a third-place finish here. Kevin Thompson. Kevin, what a wild run here. You definitely tried to hold off Jonathan Jennings as long as you could. How'd this track treat you out here tonight?
At first it treated me well. I just lost all grip after 25, 30 laps. I was just trying to hold on, and I knew he pitted a couple laps after me that last stint, and I was just trying to hold on for a top 3.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Kentucky's one of those tough tracks with only having that 14 degrees of banking. It takes its toll there on that side tire. You kind of question, oh man, what do you do? How can you overcome that? It's definitely tough, but a top 3, man, you got to be proud of that. You actually started 4th in the race, and here you are with a podium position.
Yeah, it's good to get my first podium this year. The first 2 races, I just had some bad troubles, and hopefully I can build on this and come back next week and get another podium.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to continue that charge. Once you get one, man, the consistency, and they should start coming much easier after that. But easier, maybe not. We head to Daytona next week. How confident are you feeling, going back to a super speedway?
Confident. Just run my race and stay out of other people's business and be there at the end.
Well, definitely for certain. I hope it doesn't get strung out like what we saw at Indianapolis. You guys were all over the place. I would like to see some side-by-side racing for 60 laps, man. That's going to be awesome. Kevin Thompson in the 21 Ford. Great job tonight. Give me your shout-outs.
To my family that watches every week and to my teammate at Twisted Axle.
All righty. You the man. Kevin Thompson, great job.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to move us to our second-place finisher here. Second-place finisher, of course, Jonathan Jennings here. We'll see if we can get him rounded up here. I know Jonathan all the way up top. Let's see if we can grab a hold of him. Bring him down here. Let's see if I can grab a hold of Jonathan Jennings. You got a copy? Uh-oh. Kevin, talk to me here. Jonathan, the cat got his tongue this time? Okay, I see what you're saying. Here we go. Kevin, you got a copy? Kevin, talk to me.
Patrick.
There you are. Hey, man. You there?
Hey, man. Yeah, sorry, I'm having issues with my Discord.
All right. Get rid of that push to talk. It's not worth anything.
It's not push to talk for some reason here lately. Every time I join a channel, it just takes like 2 minutes for my voice to work.
All right, man. Well, 5th place finish here for you. I know Jonathan Jennings is kind of might be away here for just a little bit. His Toyota almost was able to reel in Hunter Simpson. It was an awesome job. What did you notice out of your team here, just being able to compile the setup and really almost conquer the entire top 5?
Yeah, man. We worked really hard on our setup. It was good. On the long run, it was super loose. So we were making adjustments throughout the race, and Jonathan and Hunter made one adjustment that I didn't make, and it worked for them in their favor. But I think the key tonight was just making adjustments throughout the race to get the car to work with the track.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this right, Elite Southern Motorsports ended up 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7 for you
Yes,
guys
sir.
here in the top 10.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude, that is a lot. That's a lot of people. You know what I mean? When you can take 4 out of the top 5 here, and Kevin Thompson not being one of them there, that's just you guys have the setup down. A lot of these other teams I think are looking up to you guys, trying to figure out what you can do and really another way that they can maybe improve their game here tonight.
Yeah, man. Like I told you last week, we work on our setup pretty much every night. Except this past week, we were very unsure about this track. I think we got maybe 2 or 3 hours put in on the setup, and we were really unsure how tonight was gonna play out. But every night we're practicing, tweaking the setup, and then we come together like toward the end of practice, and everybody suggests what setup they think is good, and we just swap them and practice. And but we're willing to help anybody that wants to practice. They just reach out. We will get them in a session with us, and we'll practice with them, help them out as much as we can. Because if I can't beat them on my own setup, then I'm not a real racer, right?
Right. Well, I know you're an admin here of the league, so I'm going to poke you a little bit. This will be the second track in a row that's been shut down real life. Chicagoland shut down. Kentucky's been shut down. What brings you to the legacy track at Kentucky? What made you guys choose this track?
Well, for one, I think the official series ran here, so we try to kind of like run some of the same official tracks. That way, in case people that don't really know how to set up a car, they can find a setup, or they have access to a setup. So it ain't like they have to come in here and run the base for Legacy Kentucky. That's one reason we ran here. But another reason is sometimes we just like to run the older tracks. They're fun. They're still a lot of fun. Like Old Atlanta, we love to run in that one. So
Oh yeah,
you should see some
they changed
Legacy tracks.
It changes to the super speedway. It gets definitely weird for sure. But you guys are getting ready to head to one of the oldest tracks out there, Daytona International Speedway. How confident you heading into that one? These guys may not spread apart like they did at Indy.
I'm not confident at all. I'll be honest with you, Patrick. I look at the super speedways like playing the lottery. It's all a gamble. It's who can miss the big one and be there at the end.
All right, Kevin. Man, this is something, man. Another top 5 finish for you here. Not just outside the, just outside the podium position, but you are sitting second in points. This should continue to keep you there. I think Justin McMahon ended up getting the worst of it here tonight, sitting 14th, who is third in points. So I think you should be safe staying there in second in points. Give me a shout-outs here, man. Let's get you ready for Daytona and see if you guys can figure out maybe some fuel savings or something and get a little longer stretch on the rest of these other teams.
Yes, sir. First, I want to shout out you and you, Patrick, for the broadcast. Every week we've enjoyed every broadcast since you've come on board. So we really thank you for that. I'm gonna shout out Shawnee's for sponsoring the league. They do an awesome job. Shout out Doghouse and all the drivers, man. This is one of the best leagues on the platform, in my opinion, and I wouldn't want to be a part of any other league. And then my team, Hunter, congrats on his win tonight here at Kentucky, his home track. So, that's big for him. I'm really happy, and Justin and everybody. I'll shout out the whole Doghouse drivers, man. We do an excellent job.
Yeah, you guys do an excellent job. 2 cautions in 3 races is really something to see. You guys definitely put it down. I will admit I have my chat blowing up here on Discord about guys asking strength of the field and if you guys are still hiring out there. So simtracksbroadcasting.com, I've got the link of where you guys can find these guys at Doghouse. Get applied and give them a shot out here. And if they think they're as fast as you guys, they can come out here and give it a shot.
Yeah, can I say something about the strength of the field real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
We got a lot of drivers that refuse to run officials just because of, the way certain things happen. So, our strength of field may be down, but like my brother Jonathan, he never runs officials, but he's, in my opinion, one of the greatest drivers I've ever raced against, along with Justin. So,
oh yeah, well I see him.
We would love to have
anyone. I see him here with a Class A and a 499 just in his safety rating. But yeah, the I rating, man. I raced last week. I lost another 100. Stupid me for running ARCA and Talladega in the officials. That was my fault.
Yeah, that's why my SR is low right now. I did one truck race and lost over 1 point on my safety rating.
Ugh. Yeah, it just makes it harder. Hopefully iRacing will be able to square that thing away, but hey, that's the wonderful part about leagues. Kevin Powell, great job tonight in their 93 Chevrolet coming in 5th. Hopefully we'll see that Jimmy John's bring home a win here pretty soon.
Yes, sir. I hope so.
All righty. Thank you, Kevin. All right, and that is going to do it for Kevin Powell. Let's move to our race winner here. None other than Hunter Simpson. Fantastic job out of him tonight. Finally, the win streak has been broken. Hunter Simpson, the one to do it in the 33 Chevrolet. Great job tonight here, bud.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, we do want to keep in mind only one person in a Chevrolet has won at Kentucky, that being Kyle Busch. Everybody else has either been in a Ford or a Toyota. Probably a Pontiac as well. But you got up front here. How confident were you with Jonathan Jennings kind of bearing down here in the last 10 laps?
I knew that I was going to have to earn every win in this series running with a great racer like him. So I knew that, if I was able to hold him off, I would have earned it. And I appreciate him always racing me clean, and I've learned a lot from him. So thank you to him, and thank you to all my teammates.
Well, he was definitely sending it on through down at the bottom, man. It was definitely a quick push by him trying to get that last couple little bit there. He was off by about half a second, but you got him. But I do have to ask, Hunter, is looking at the beginning of the race, you fell off by almost 2.5 to 3 seconds before the first pit stop. What did you change to get ahead of Jonathan here and continue pushing away?
I just talked with the team about what I was struggling with, and John made a suggestion, and I just went with it. And I was, I trust him, and I trust his word because he really knows what he's doing, along with all my teammates. And I just took his advice, and I tried to, change up my line, anything I could to adapt and go faster.
All righty. Were the bumps on the track, I know you won, but were the bumps on the track at all a problem for you tonight?
Not really. If you hit one of them seams down in 1 and 2, it could send you around if you're not careful, but I was running a different line than most people, so I wasn't worried about it.
Okay, yeah, I did see you run almost a car and a half to 2 car lengths up higher on the track, being a little more conservative to help assist that right front tire that I know really gets chewed up here at Kentucky. Really, what else did you notice out there? Was there any other people you were more nervous about than Jonathan Jennings kind of reeling you in here?
Just anybody can come up there and win in this league. Everybody's so competitive, so you can't rule nobody out.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I know Kevin Thompson in the 21 Ford. He ended up 3rd. He had you there for a little bit. It looked like it was pretty close right after the pit stop. But it looks like you just kind of kept the consistency, held your line, and started to pull away there.
Yeah, I just tried to, stay calm and just be aware of, I need to save some tires for the end. Because I figured that, them 2 behind me would get to battling, and I would have to try and hold them off. So I just tried to be conservative and be consistent.
All right, well, definitely taking a win here at the Doghouse Racing League. This has got to open your eyes, man. Definitely get that nice breath of fresh air. Finally get that load off your chest here and get you moving on up. Unfortunately, I think you had a start and park last race for Chicagoland, so I know you're going to be in an uphill battle for the rest of the season heading into Daytona. So heading to that track now, I mean, how confident are you feeling? Maybe another podium, if not another win.
It's Daytona. It could go, I could win it or I could finish dead last. It's just really depends on how the race goes and how everybody races around each other. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, well, hopefully it is the new Daytona. You guys run at the Legacy one there. It's best on you guys. I've tried to take the 87 Monte Carlo through there, and it's like driving over speed bumps the whole time. Hunter Simpson, the 33 Chevrolet, great job tonight, man. Go ahead and give me your shout-outs.
I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. All the drivers in Doghouse, Shoney's for sponsoring the league and helping out. All the admins, Daniel, Kevin, Eddie, just Adam, all my teammates. It wouldn't have been possible without them. I've learned a lot, and I'm proud to finally get this first win.
All righty, well, one win starts collecting others. Great job tonight, and I'll catch up with you guys next week at Daytona.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's Hunter Simpson getting it done there. Really kind of squaring away his team right now. Just knows exactly where they need to be and where they can start picking up speed. And being able to make those adjustments during the race is really the key, I think, for a lot of these drivers to have that opportunity to keep it going on around. Stella out there in the chat, appreciate you hanging out there with us as well. Sean Thompson, appreciate you guys out there chatting it up here with me. It's definitely it definitely gets lonely, but I know out here on the track watching 26 drivers really put down some awesome times out there. I can't wait to see how the points work up, and maybe I think I'll have some championship points up for you guys next round to go ahead and get that squared away. But that's going to do it for us here at Simtrack Broadcasting. Join us next week, next Thursday at Daytona Speedway. Same time, different place. Same place if you're joining us here. But we're going to go ahead and lock and load here. We'll see you next time. I'll see you guys will be Friday at the Grayson Shootout Series. So be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see all you guys next time.